Your enemy's closer.
You can't handle the truth.
Why so serious?
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Seeing two badass videos is great and all, but just as the Beetlejuice movie said it, third time's a charm. That's exactly why the TV Regent is giving you Volume 3 of the top 25 badass movie flexes today.
When I say you should screw yourself, I didn't mean for you to take it literally.
It just feels right to start a flexes video with Arnold Schwarzenegger, doesn't it? Well, in the 6th day, our man beats his opponent multiple times, and it doesn't matter how many clones he can produce because nobody can match up to Arnie's aura.
We all have to die someday. We don't have to die.
Drucker really doesn't know when to quit, but as he makes his last attempt, Adam mocks him with a joke so effective it would make even Wednesday Addams laugh. Well, the line did make a lot of sense considering the fact Drucker did end up in some kind of romantic embrace with his clone at the end of it. I mean, imagine if they played some kind of romantic music as this happened. I'd have burst out laughing. Even so, I still find it hilarious how such an average dude thought he and his clones actually had a chance at beating Mr. Universe. Bro even gave us the disgusted, messy look for a mini second after cleaning up the trash.
Perfect. Like you? Look. Here's your perfection. There's no need to panic. I can fix this. No, you won't fix anything. It's over. It's finished.
Screw you, you stretch-faced RoboCop-looking Skeletor wannabe, purple nurple piece of...
Star-Lord may have messed up big time against Thanos in Infinity War, but he made up for that with his epic insult to the High Evolutionary.
So, you'd like to joust, would you?
Go to hell, you sick son of a...
Our man doesn't waste a single second as he totally rips into the villain with some very colourful words. The fact that he goes savage mode right after the High Evolutionary screams his lines makes it even better.
They will die unless you bring me what is mine!
Because it shows that Star-Lord isn't scared of the consequences. Honestly, I loved every single insult he gave out, especially the comparisons to RoboCop and Skeletor. I'm sure Disney helped with the name usage, but man, I wish all their movies had such creativity when it comes to taking names. Chris Pratt doesn't flinch either, which is pretty commendable because I wouldn't have been able to keep a straight face if I was in his place. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if all of this was actually improvised.
You don't know.
Think?
You're a disease, and I'm the cure.
Sylvester Stallone may be way past his prime now, but before his days of acting in Tulsa King, bro was a part of some epic movies. I'm not even considering Rocky or Rambo, I'm talking about 1986's Cobra, because that gave us a sequence that's pretty on brand with its cheesy lines.
That doesn't concern you, no matter what you think.
You tell that to his family, huh?
Of course, the disease and the cure moment was a notch above the rest, because it gave Cobra the cue to dispose of the psycho robber taking over the supermarket. I also want to shout out the hilarious line where he tells the robber to go ahead and attack the hostage because he doesn't shop there.
I'll kill her!
Go ahead. I don't shop her.
I know this isn't exactly how badass heroes reach the top of the list, but hey, I'm not one to ignore unique writing, am I? I also got to give it to Sly for looking so badass in that outfit. Man, we really need to get this kind of fashion back into the scene. Like, not everyone can be Timothée Chalamet, right?
Can't do that.
Why?
I don't deal with psychos. I put them away.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
Jack Nicholson has played some epic roles throughout his career, and one of them happens to be that of Lieutenant Nathan in 1992's A Few Good Men. I think most people can easily recognize this scene, even if they haven't watched the movie.
Colonel Jessup, did you order the Code Red?
You don't have to answer that question.
I'll answer the question.
That's just how memorable and iconic it is, you know. We literally had freaking Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson giving us the best acting this movie possessed, and trust me, that's like the pinnacle of acting, okay?
You have that luxury. You have the luxury of not knowing what I know, that Santiago's death, while tragic,
Probably saved lives.
The passion in Lieutenant Daniel is the perfect counter to Lieutenant Nathan's condescension, and the "you can't handle the truth" line hits you harder than Cristiano Ronaldo kicks off football. Don't forget the fact that Nathan actually goes on to give a pretty darn good speech right after, and it elevates his presence. I had goosebumps when I watched this scene, and the way both actors were going at each other almost made you feel as if they were screaming right at you. Yeah, this is why we have differences between good actors and gods of the craft.
I did the job.
Did you order the code red?
You're goddamn right I did! You people. You have no idea how to defend a nation.
Wendy, I'm home.
Well, how about that then, eh? Jack Nicholson makes it 2 for 2 with yet another iconic line from yet another iconic role. The Shining often finds its way at the top of the best horror movies of all time lists, and for good reason too.
Not by the hair on your chinny chin chin. Then I'll huff. And I'll puff.
Amongst the several memorable moments from this Stanley Kubrick masterpiece, we have the "Here's Johnny" line.
Here's Johnny.
Which is so famous that it should be in some Ultra Pro Max legendary category. The flex is basically Jack being able to smash his way through the door and giving us the line. But there's actually a funny story to this. As per what I've read, the props department had initially built doors that were easily breakable, but Nicholson, with his experience as a volunteer fire marshal, was able to break them too easily. This led to the need to build stronger doors for the scene. Want to know how many doors he actually broke them? Some say it's as many as 60. Now that's a flex for real and real life.
Little pigs, let me come in.
Red, you go. Where shall I go? What shall I do?
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Who would have thought that flexing would find its way even in a movie as old as Gone with the Wind? Then again, it was such a monumental and revolutionary film for the world of cinema that it shouldn't come as much of a surprise, to be honest. Plus, Scarlett really was a super toxic woman to live with, so it only made sense for Rhett to leave her. I mean, the dude only did what any self-respecting man would do.
I want peace. I want to see if somewhere there isn't something left in life of charm and grace. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No. I only know that I love you.
That's your misfortune.
Why would you stay with a woman who's so obsessed with another man that she doesn't even value you in the relationship? Then there's also the case of having lost his kids, so a bro can only take so much, right? That's exactly why telling Scarlett he doesn't care was absolute absolute cinema.
Red, please don't say that. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for everything.
My darling, you're such a child. You think that by saying I'm sorry, all the past can be corrected.
For the first time in my life, I am proud. It means I'm an X-Man.
Hugh Jackman deserves the world, and this is because of one role he's been playing since the year 2000. Bro's been Wolverine for longer than Millie Bobby Brown has been alive. So yeah, it's only fair that he got to flex this fact in Deadpool and Wolverine when he says that he is the X-Man.
I am the X-Man.
The hype was real here, and nobody can say otherwise. You know what? This isn't Wolverine flexing to us. This is Hugh Jackman speaking the truth. Bro was spitting straight facts, and he made it even more awesome when he saved the multiverse with Deadpool right after. And yes, the choice of background music was also spot on. See, this is the kind of formula that the MCU needs to work with.
He has risen, baby girl. Found your new anchor being.
And we're doing just fine, you piece of shit.
Fine indeed.
Yeah! What you got? What you got? Yeah!
It's actually a shocker that I haven't mentioned this scene in any of my other Flex's videos because it's the perfect example of an over-the-top masterpiece. The A-Team will never win any awards, but it was never made with that intention. This movie was supposed to entertain and... Oh boy, it sure did. The scene with the flying tank is easily a standout because,
You trying to shoot down that other drone?
No. They're trying to fly that tank.
It's got a flying tank, isn't it? Plus, it's more plausible than the entire Fast and Furious franchise. Another moment I'd like to point out from this scene is when Bradley Cooper's character Faye steps out and screams, "What you got?" like a wild maniac. Yeah, this was almost like Cooper's audition for the role of Rocket Raccoon. The scream he lets out when unloading the machine gun and even blowing up a jet never fails to make me smile.
recognize the timing. I just hope it hasn't been changed.
Catch one of those flame bursts, you're a corpse.
Have a nice day.
Sean Connery is the epitome of masculine badass. Bro was a premium version of Giga Chads before Mike O'Hearn made them trending again. Normally when I mention The Rock, it's Dwayne Johnson I'm referring to, but in this case, it's Michael Bay's thrilling 1996 action flick that has Sir Connery giving us one of the greatest welcomes by an old man.
Welcome to The Rock.
The way Mason rolls through those flames without any fear whatsoever was epic, and he completely leads the sequence with everyone else looking like little sidekicks, including Nicolas freaking Cage. Yeah, it takes a lot of sass to be able to flex on Hollywood's favourite madman, but if anyone can do it, it's the OG James Bond.
Well, it's certainly more enjoyable than my average day. Reading philosophy, avoiding gang washrooms. Though it's less of a problem these days. Maybe I'm losing my...
Dr. Grant, my dear Dr. Sattler, welcome to Jurassic Park.
It's one classic welcome after another, that too by a bunch of old men. Well, John Hammond may not be as badass as Sean Connery, but Jurassic Park is a much better place than The Rock. The way Hammond introduces Alan and the others to his world of dinosaurs is the stuff of legends. He's pretty much doing the same thing to the audience as well, and it's a massive flex when you consider that he's the one responsible for all of this.
You crazy son of a dude.
And let's not forget that Bro casually said they have a T-Rex in the facility.
T-Rex?
Mm-hmm.
You said you've got a T-Rex?
Uh-huh. Say again. We have a T-Rex.
As if he was referring to an exquisite cat. Yeah, if only one of those cats didn't try to eat everyone who came in front of them.
Must go faster. Stick around.
When Arnold Schwarzenegger is in action, you've got to stick around. Now let me just start off by saying that I know how cheesy and almost cringeworthy this line is in the modern age, but let's not forget that this is the 1980s we're talking about, okay? The word cringe literally has relevance because of that era. Also, I don't think we understand just how badass it is to be able to land such a perfect shot with a knife. Not only was Dutch's aim immaculate, he also managed to strike with enough force to make his opponent stick to the wall behind him. Now, as far as I've heard, it seems that Arnie came up with this line on the spot. I suppose that makes sense because Bro was definitely proud of himself for saying that line.
Knock, knock.
You are done. No more table. Where are you going, pal? Next time you have a chance to kill someone, don't hesitate.
Wow, we've got one more welcome here, and it's the most badass of them all because it's freaking Die Hard. John McClane influenced the entire millennial generation, and rightfully so. Bro even gave the cops a run for their money and welcomed them to the party once they actually realized what was going on inside the building.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Well, if a dead body falling on your car followed by multiple gunshots doesn't do it, then I don't know what will. It was a great plan in action, and it continues to show why movies like this are so relevant in the modern day and age. And yes, I still stand by the fact that Die Hard is a perfect Christmas movie.
Thanks for the advice.
The overlight.
It's one thing to flex with words, another to flex with actions, and a whole other thing to flex with your attire. That's what Cruella does here as she steals everyone's eyeballs while making her appearance at the party.
Obviously, you're weak. The first two of you to arrive are going to get very badly hurt.
The fiery effects were cool enough, but to steal the limelight from the Baroness had to be something close to a lifetime achievement for her. I mean, she did set her cloak on fire to receive this exact response, so the mission was definitely accomplished if you ask me.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, hang on. We haven't started yet, darling.
Emma Stone totally nailed this role, and I think it paved the way for her to be recognised in other big movies too, like Poor Things.
What was your name? Cruella. Oh.
Cinema history, so it's no surprise to find Heath Ledger's performance so high up on this list. Bro was so dismissive and yet so eloquent.
I see the train. What about it?
And you have a parachute.
Got a parachute? What do you expect me to do?
Well, just, you know, jump.
Jump?
I can't ignore Tom Cruise when it comes to flexes, so it's appropriate to have my top 10 kick off with the greatest stunt he's pulled off. Till now. I only say that because there are more movies Mr. Cruise is going to do, and he seems to have some kind of obsession when it comes to surpassing his own ridiculous achievements. This bike jump stunt is a flex, a statement, and a God mode moment all packed into one sweet sequence.
Yeah! Benji, it doesn't work like that. I'm not that high. There's ledges sticking out everywhere.
Look, I'm just trying to help you, okay? I need you to take a step back and pull yourself together because I am under a lot of pressure right now.
Of course, Ethan Hunt does feel the heat as he's only human. Then the stuntman within him wakes up and gives us a feat that had not just the audience but also the director and supporting staff gasping. The overall visual for the scene looks so perfect that I find it hard to believe that even if Mr. Cruise himself will pass it.
Kill her.
Now you boys put those guns down.
Say what?
Whoa. We're not just gonna let you walk out of here.
Who's we, sucker?
When it comes to masculinity, Sir Sean Connery obviously takes the crown, but Clint Eastwood is a close second. The man sure seems to take his coffee seriously because the waitress from the coffee shop deliberately made it bad in order for him to come back and catch the robbers in the act. Keep in mind that this is from the iconic Dirty Harry franchise. So quick shooting was always going to be on the cards. The flex isn't just about shooting down 3 of the robbers, but rather how he dares the surviving one to try and make his day. Yeah, bro knew he was cooked at that very moment, which led him to leave the hostage.
Go ahead. Make my day.
To infinity and beyond!
Toy Story isn't exactly the kind of movie you'd imagine to have flexes and stuff, but it does have Buzz Lightyear, who gave millennials all around the world one of the most memorable lines to celebrate.
Can.
The flex here lies in how calm and composed Buzz is throughout all the stunts he performs in front of his buddies. Bro made some instant fans when he showed a completely unmoved expression after he got done with a series of actions that would have definitely got me puking at the halfway point if I tried them. It's a solid 10 on 10 sequence, and the line's epic nature is what elevates the scene to number 8.
I found my moving buddy.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you.
That wasn't flying. That was falling with style.
Are you employed, Mr. Lebowski?
Wait, let me explain something to you. I am not Mr. Lebowski. You're Mr. Lebowski. I'm the dude.
Sometimes, all you need to be is a chill guy. It's pretty much what the dude from the Big Lebowski aspired to be, which is why he finds himself above such engaging sequences.
Did I urinate on your rug?
You mean, did you personally come and pee on my rug?
Hello? Do you speak English, sir? Parla usted inglés?
There's no dominance or anything like that on display here. Bro simply saying he'd prefer to be called the dude, which is a flex in itself.
I'm the dude. So that's what you call me, you know? That or his dudeness or duder or, you know, El Duderino if you're not into the whole brevity thing.
I mean, it's got a similar ring to being called the Godfather, but in a society where everyone is chill. I mean, he's just so relaxed and chill that I feel so jealous while watching him talk. Even terms like his dudeness or El Duderino had me cracking up like crazy. Yeah, this is the kind of calmness I hope to achieve in my life.
The bums will always lose! You hear me, Lebowski?
How was your meeting, Mr. Lebowski?
Okay.
Apes! Do not want war!
Yeah, you're out there talking about whether 100 dudes can take down one gorilla, but in case you've forgotten, there's a whole series of movies that showcase how apes have taken over the entire planet. So yeah, even over 8 billion humans aren't enough if we're considering apocalyptic level events. When Caesar lets the humans know his kind don't want to fight, he's extending mercy to them. When he says his apes will fight if they must,
but will fight if we must.
he's flexing their strength and their numbers. And when he gives the cold stare right after, he lets us all know that he isn't one to be messed with. Malcolm must have felt chills right through his spine at that moment, so he must have been super relieved when he was given that peace offering.
Ape! Home! Human! Soul!
But yeah, Caesar commands the entire scene with his presence, and a lot of credit has to be given to Andy Serkis, who absolutely nails the role of the ape leader. In case you don't know, he also played Gollum in the Lord of the Rings movies. Yeah, he's one heck of a talented dude right there.
Do not come back.
They deserve what they got.
You almost killed me!
Are you gonna bark all day, little doggy, or are you gonna bite?
It's not hard to believe that Quentin Tarantino's first ever directorial film was a massive success with the critics. The man knows how to captivate his viewers, doesn't he? And his characters almost seem like extensions of his own persona. This epic moment from Reservoir Dogs had Mr. Blonde and Mr. White participate in a truly unforgettable exchange.
You kids shouldn't play so rough. Somebody's gonna start crying.
There are all kinds of ways to draw aggro. The pro gamers know that better than anyone else, right? However, the way Michael Madsen delivers his line here is 100% badass. Bro didn't care for anything Mr. White was saying.
You set off the alarm. They deserve what they got.
You almost killed me!
And he calmly demolishes him by asking if his bark actually had any bite. Shout out to Mr. Pink for preventing what would have been a brutal fist fight, but man, the moment was one of the coldest I've ever seen. With no background score or dramatic cuts, it felt so raw and genuine that you'd believe this is exactly how such an argument would go down in real life too.
Are you gonna bark all day, little doggy? Or are you gonna bite?
Peter, may I introduce my father, Norman Osborn?
Heard so much about you.
Great honor to meet you, sir.
Harry tells me you're quite the science whiz. You know, I'm something of a scientist myself.
William Dafoe will always be remembered as an actor who deserved the same fame as a Pierce Brosnan or a Harrison Ford, but got restricted to mainly being the Green Goblin apart from birthing countless memes.
But you can't do this to me. I started this company. You know how much I sacrificed?
However, he did need to start the movement somewhere, and that happened in 2002 Spider-Man, which gave him the aforementioned Green Goblin persona. Of course, I'm referring to the "I'm something of a scientist myself" line, which isn't just a heavily parodied scene, but is also a very subtle flex. Norman Osborn came across very calm and cool in front of Peter as he explains how he too has scientific prowess. By playing down his actual skills, Bro was able to farm aura way before Sung Jin-woo was even conceptualized. And yes, let's not forget about the fact that this man was giving us priceless memes even before that word got added to everyone's urban dictionary. Come on now, give this man his flowers already.
I chose my path, you chose the way of the hero. And they found you amusing for a while. But the one thing they love more than a hero is to see a hero fail, fall, die trying.
That's more to the point. Do you understand? I drink your water. I drink it up. Every day, I drink the blood of lamb from Bander's Tract.
They keep saying how no good story ever began with a glass of milk. Now, while there are many examples that prove this statement wrong, I want to highlight how an epic movie ended with a speech about a milkshake.
If you have a milkshake, and I have a milkshake, and I have a straw, there it is. I drink your milkshake.
Daniel Day-Lewis is a phenomenal actor, which makes it a great shame for us that he doesn't really act in a lot of movies. Bro has officially retired from acting, leaving nothing but legendary performances. There Will Be Blood had a rather mixed response to its ending, but I think it's an extremely powerful scene, you know. Daniel gets his revenge on Eli after the earlier humiliation he suffered in his church, but he goes on a maniacal rant and bludgeons him even after he agrees to all of his terms. By comparing the oil he forcefully took from Eli to a milkshake, Daniel Plainview also established himself as one of cinema's most interesting characters. It's a brilliant flex of superiority, even if it's coming from a man who's reduced himself to an alcoholic.
I told you I would eat you.
We're family.
I told you I would eat you up.
We're brothers. Please forgive me. I beg you.
This whole operation was a moment. This whole operation was a moment.
There are two people you don't want to upset. One's the Hulk, and the other is Tom freaking Cruise, aka Ethan Hunt. It looks like Kittredge didn't get the memo because he just kept pushing Ethan's button here, accusing him of being a mole.
Now, suddenly, they're flush with over 120 grand in the bank. Your father's illness was supposed to have wiped out that bank account. Why don't we quietly get out of here onto a plane.
Now, the smart thing to do was always to escape, but what's the point of being a superstar if you don't get to flex a little while executing your plan? Mr. Hunt does exactly that, but not before making it known to his opponents that he has never seen him very upset.
I can understand you're very upset.
Kittredge, you've never seen me very upset.
Not only is it a great response to a patronizing statement, this also prepares us for the epic move our man pulls off after it. The one thing I don't get though is why the heck that one dude was staring at that explosive as if someone threw chewing gum on the glass. Cruise's delivery of the line is so on point and the background score is so ominous that it serves as the perfect partner to Ethan Hunt's escape. And yes, those Dutch angles were pretty cool as well. You can say whatever you want, and you can probably cast Robert Downey Jr. in as many Dr. Doom roles too, but the one thing you can never take away from him will be the fact that he's the eternal face of Iron Man.
Okay, Thor, hit me.
Tony Stark isn't just a character, he's a symbol and a representation of the MCU when it was at its most vulnerable stage and also when it reached its peak.
I said we'd lose. You said, we'll do that together too. And guess what, Cap? We lost, and you weren't there.
The grand finale to his character's arc couldn't have been more emotional than what we saw in Endgame.
Hey, you said 1 out of 14 million we win, yeah? Tell me this is it.
If I tell you what happens, it won't happen.
To answer Thanos with the "I am Iron Man" line will forever be legendary, and it symbolized exactly what Iron Man meant to all of us: determination sprinkled with tons of sass. This scene may have ended Tony Stark, but the aura was undeniable no matter which way you look at it. Bro quite literally harnessed the power of all of the Infinity Stones and banished the MCU's main villain along with his entire army. Now, what other flex can even compare to that?
Part of the journey is the end. What am I even tripping for? Everything's gonna work out exactly the way it's supposed to. I love you 3000.
This video, please subscribe to the TV Regent, and here's another video I know you're going to enjoy.